Welcome to Ubuntu and Law, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 12 of this great podcast. So, I am your host. My name is Tembisum Kun, aspiring legal practitioner, aspiring public speaker, aspiring polygamist. And welcome to this episode. As like I said to the last episode, we are growing. Did I say that the last episode? I doubt that. But anyway, I'm in a good mood today, ladies and gentlemen. I am in a good mood today. So today's topic it's about understanding interstate succession in South Africa. So, yeah. So, just 1 week away from Human Rights Day, which is on March 21st. So, yeah, man. Oh, is it 2 weeks? We'll see when are we posting this episode. But yeah, I'm excited because, I'm pumped up. I think I'm pumped too much today because I think I drank something that has caffeine in it. So, welcome, and thank you for listening to another episode. I don't know which part of the world you are from or where you're listening to this podcast, but hey, man, appreciate it. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, leave a comment, and share. And let's get into it. Let me just do it properly. Actually, we're on already, so might as well go your parati. So let me go. Okay. Welcome to episode 12. Today we are diving into Interstate Succession Act of 1987, one of South Africa's most vital pieces of inheritance law. Before we get into the specifics, let's set the scene. Historically, when people passed away without wills, their estates could be tied up to dispute or left without a clear plan. The Interstate Succession Act steps in as a safety net, ensuring that even without a will, the estate is distributed according to a fair set of guidelines. So, as we explore today, I will walk you through who the Act applies to, how inheritance is structured, and real-life examples that bring the law to life. By the end, you will have a solid grasp of how interstate estates are handled in South Africa. So yeah. Whew, man, the weather's not looking good today. Okay, who the Act applies to? Okay, let's get to it. So now, let's get into who exactly the Act applies to. Essentially, if you pass away without a will, no matter your age, income, or family situation, this Act will decide your heirs. Think about a young adult who never thought about estate planning, or a person in a second marriage who hasn't updated their will. If they die, their estate doesn't go to random strangers. It follows a structured order. For example, spouses and children are prioritized. If there's no spouse or kids, then parents inherit. And if no direct relative exists, the estate might pass to more distant relatives. This structure ensures that everyone who has a fair chance, even if formal planning wasn't done. So, if you're wondering whether this applies to you, yes, it does, no matter your background. So, that is the interstate of succession in South Africa. Yeah. Interesting. Regardless, as long as you feel linked, it has a structure of who gets kanjani, what, and if you didn't have children, like it is essentially important for certain individuals, the structure. So, yeah, it is interesting. So this is I think, is an act from 1987, if I'm not mistaken. Stands to be corrected, but yeah. All right. Order of succession. Let me just go through this one first. So when it comes to prioritizing my estate, obviously we have children, right? If you have children, automatically it will go to them. But a will is always a good idea. So, for example, most parents, especially if you're from a background that refuses reality, because old people rather, or a parent from a generation that is, I don't want to say unrealistic, but element of or hint of in denial. They don't want to do wills because they don't want to face the reality. They have to do one, two, three, and make the right decision. So essentially, you find I've heard of this a lot when it comes to houses, right? So when it comes to houses, a lot of parents don't necessarily have a will because I don't know why, because maybe they don't know about it. So the children, they grow up and then they end up fighting for their house, especially their houses. To be houses extended. There's no lack of order, and they will fight for their house. Promise you, they will hate each other. So this reminds me of a what? So I was doing this, what is this? Extracurricular sort of a thing, trying to expand what I'm doing and increase, my CV. So I once went to a community hall meeting, and you found a lot of them wanted assistance. Another gentleman came to me, hey man, I need an interdict. So how do I go about it? I need an interdict. So my sister wants to sell the house, but the parent left the house to the both of. So I'm trying to stop her, and I want to create a plan so I can buy her out. I was like, okay, I don't know much about interstate succession and what to do. So I'm like, Yazin, I don't want to talk misinformation. Let me just write your particulars, and I'm gonna give it to a specific or a certain attorney. So I think So imagine that now your own sister, you want to sell your family house, and she does not have full authority to do that. But the parents didn't leave a will. Would say no. So automatically, which interstate legal says the house will belong to their children rather. So you want to send interstate? I will buy you plan by plan. I just want to keep the family home. So that's the thing. So I think reality has to set in. Maybe ourselves. What makes abazali bangafuni ukuba ne-will? But because I think it's clear. It's clear. You have to have a will. Regardless, ukuthi ingane azijabulanga ukuthi who has the why does this person was given a car, whatever, clothes, suit, or the house that they did. Parents made a decision about the and I think those people who has to inherit, they might feel that's not fair. Why would the parents give you ones and I don't get it? Amen. They took that decision, and you have to accept the reality. Hey, I guess they didn't see me capable, or they didn't see me worthy of earning 1, 2, 3. So yeah, definitely. So it was, and most of the time when it comes to houses, especially in communities, you find that a lot of adults, because because of we're getting there, but economic situation in other parts, it's some people don't really move out, or adult, they don't move out of their parents' house for sake, and even if they do, they just go and rent. But they I want to say the element of entitlement. So, and some parents think you're gonna live forever. No, I don't want to feel it. Maybe it's a mentality thing. With if I have a will, that means I'm accepting. I'm about to die. So most of them, they don't want, even if they're 40, 50. They're like, no. But no, it's just in Ganze, or your children don't have a squabble or fight, or they dislike or hate each other. So because you can't hate your siblings because your parents, both of your parents said, hey, this one gets their house. What the reason? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be, because the other siblings is married and I want the grandchildren to, or he's the elder or she's the, those type of a thing. You can't hate it. Our parents they said I should have the house. So you can't really hate me for their decision. Oh no, you must have been the favorite one. So definitely that plays a huge role. Either way, I think that will definitely speaks volume too, especially now. Back in the day, it was written. It's written, but I think now you can also have a video by title okay, speak your truth. It's in the paper. It's written black and white, but so that they can see your voice and hear you. Say it with your mouth, right? Saying, okay, I live this because of one, two, three, and I feel you are capable of one, two, three, and I explain to what I want. No, the reason I didn't live to, because the parents said it in a will, so definitely it belongs to. Now then, I go to, you heard our parents, but you said, shoot, you have no claim because you see there's a video and then value parents and then a lawyer executioner of that really corner lab so Shiloh. So yeah, definitely. So I think yeah. That's why we have to like educate the community about certain things and facing reality. So it's something that I want to pursue. Okay, not pursue. I want to philanthropically engage in community upliftment because when you go to the community, it's a mess though, especially when it comes to structures and how they conduct. It's yeah, and remember, there's people like your elders, so you can't have and how you can have attitude. Yeah, you're no better because I studied this, and because you have to humble yourself, and they can hear you and choose not to listen to you. So there's a huge element of how do you go about it? How do you approach a certain? How do you educate them? And do they hear you or they're just listening to it? Vice versa, what I said. Are they listening or they're just hearing you? Because they can hear you. Oh, yeah, great. And then they choose not to do any of that. I am not doing that. But it's for peace. And then in Ghana says, yeah, Lomash. Says Zondan. And then their children, they don't like each other. They don't know why. Now you hate your cousin. You don't know why. You don't have a relationship with your cousin because of the what? The grandmother or the grandfather didn't do things right in the family tree, the family structure. It's gone. Back to square one. So I found that's very, pro issue, and I think we have to start from internally in a household to fix that. Empower the community and basic understanding. With, hey man, I understand what's in Jacob, but nobody lives forever, and you have to prep for the future. We're not saying Guti, you're about to die right now, but I'm just saying Guti, always and then explain, face them reality. Hey man, this is my house. I made this decision. You're my child. I love you, but I'm taking because I know because I raised you. I know good to I know maybe you're irresponsible. Like you don't have respect for the house. Like isn't this in child? Probably the child is puza cool patting a lot. Can't live in mountain child. So it's not good by the name of my grand in the name okay. In the name of what? In the words of my grandmother, it's going to be a chicken house. So you can't. You need someone responsible. What. But either way, it is necessary. I think it should be mandatory moving forward. Good. Hey, man, I'm an asset work or shoot. Because this one it clears things up. Now you're going to court now. Hey, lean down and then it's fight. Hey, my army. Man. You have to fix family structure. It is essential because people always assume the grass is greener on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, the grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. So you fix the community, you make community healthy. Not that side, because I want to go to that side. So no, it's just a new community, a beat up market because certain income bracket they earn. So, but the same thing can happen. So yeah. So yeah, and hopefully it is. So our approach to certain things must be, and hopefully we can meet. Because when you take to our elders, it's really like I said. If you tell them what to do, they hear you, but they won't listen to you. So you have to like, hey, because they talk about humble and humility. Eh, yazi bantu bagolo, ke batla ho bua ka ntho e 1 2 3 and etc etc. But yeah, man, it's hectic. It truly is hectic. Anyway, let's move on. So, order of succession. Okay. Next, let's unpack the order of succession in details. The act is precise. First, if a spouse survives, they inherit a portion, often half of the estate. If there are children, the children split the remaining half equally. If there's no spouse, then the children inherit everything in equal shares. Then children, then after, excuse me, there are no, then, no, it's just, okay, yeah. After that, if there are no children, parents inherit. So imagine a single individual who never married his parents would get everything. After that, siblings step in if parents aren't alive, and so forth. Each layer is about ensuring the closest relative benefit first. I will pause here with practical. Rather. So imagine a man with a spouse and two children. When he passes, the spouse gets half, and then the children split the rest. I encourage you to reflect, if something happened to you, who would fall into this order? Think about your own family structure as we keep going here. So okay. Zwileke, if I was Shatanga, yeah, children get or is a spouse. I don't think it takes precedence. Because you've heard of this thing, people name more to own izindlu, and the moment I got to people are running to the asset. There was once love, but because the person who an asset didn't necessarily do the so honorable. Azange, he didn't do anything. Now people are fighting. Lazy. Hey, this was what. So if Shadila, you have a spouse, it helps because now we have an order of how it goes. The spouse gets 50%, and if you have children, they ain't gone. This will share the rest. So wills are important. So that is how it goes. And then if we don't have children, necessarily it goes to if we don't, if siblings. Yeah, man, it's something special. It is something. So it is. So ideally, realistically, in a society or South African society, rather, so people don't marry because the law is unkind. Because this thing of anti-nuptial, people not signing customary law, etc. So customary say 50-50. When you marry community of property, what is yours is mine, what is mine is yours. And women tend to take advantage of that. And you hear this saying online, and not even in reality. Hey, they say it proudly, 40. So in my head, I'm like, huh. So I work my whole life, and I have 1, 2, 3, and because of that, I am desirable. And you see, okay, this is someone I would have. I'm an offspring now, I'm a female now, etc. And you found me like one of the elements that you found attractive about me is because of, if I didn't have that, you wouldn't have, right? In age, obviously. Women always choose umuntu who's viable for a spring. That means you have to show potential, not potential. You have to show that you can provide, and how you show that is what you have. So and then this confidence saying that they like to say, "Oh no, what's yours is mine. What's mine is mine," which I found very ludicrous. Cause how is that? If I didn't, if I never had Lonka Lentole, you wouldn't even see me like, another guy, he's fine. So how does that work? But customary law, and sometimes I feel like this whole thing was built on back in the day where women were not allowed to work. Before the big march, all women of color, regardless they march because women were not allowed to work. So say they did, and that I think that thing, I would think that I haven't done research on it. So, but I would think because it's for that thing. So, no doubt if you're a team. Now, back in that, it makes sense 1,000%. If women were not allowed to work, obvious, their husband, they were going to get half because because you cannot take a woman and then she's cuts out, okay, and she's not allowed to work, invest everything into the family, and then it decides to start over, because that's one of the options of being a guy at any age. You can really start a new family, and then now woman is just done. So that one I do understand. But now times have changed. Push equality, women have the same opportunities, or progressively or in progress of having the same opportunities. Different industries are opening up. It's not only, okay, this is for men, it's an option. Hey, if you want to work here, if you want to be an engineer, come through. If you want to be a doctor, come through. If you want to be a lawyer, come through. Yeah, well. So that part, I feel like it has to change. Instead of, good, hey, man, because now we have to anti-nuptial, I'm a pre-nup, post-nup, good, hey, what, one is in danger for protection. Because either way, if you do all of this, because it's a community of property, what if this person is irresponsible in debt? So, malenga, so and so forth. So, that one is like, for me, it's problematic. So this law, I think it has to, because I think most of our acts are not really progressive. Because come on, they still use 1, 2, 3 in the past. Because I think now it has to change. No, like for women, I think it's optional if you want to work or not. As a man, I'm not choice. It's one of your defining qualities as a man. Every man must be working. Every. So if not, society does not see you, regardless of two ends. But if you're not working, and then you do see the difference. Not I'm not saying he's just that person, but the moment of we exceed, they're like, okay, we see this. Oh, that's a man. That's a man. So yeah. So I feel like that has to change. I don't know how long it will take, but because how the hell are we going to express and because now most of our practitioners, they don't marry, they can date, but they're love long life partner. Because Jesus Christ, I mean, divorce, it's a process. That's another 5 to 6 years just to divorce someone. Imagine that. So it is a process, So I've been to like when I went for my proceedings, the judge was like, okay, any reconcilable differences, can you get married? Can you like fixing the button? Oh, it's irreconcilable differences. So 7 years about 2016 when we filed for divorce. Now it's 2025, 2026. I'm like, yes. So in the property, I think moving forward, gentlemen, anti-nuptial. Wait, is it anti-nuptial? Yeah, anti-nuptial. If I sign it, she's after your money. Come on. Like, if she's gonna give you, no, man, what's mine is yours. This is my equity. I worked hard for this. So, just that. The moment I think obviously going like, oh, okay, this is a trend. Like, and it's a mentality. That mentality has to stop. Gentlemen, do not marry. I repeat, wherever you are in the world, I repeat, do not marry someone without an anti-nuptial. And aside, especially Lamzant, because we have customary law. Before uthumela incwadi, efeminini yakhe ngithi you're about to pay lobola. First, make sure ukuthi she signs an anti-nuptial. Just because let me tell you how I would do it. Because I would do it like this. So very romantic. I love being romantic. I enjoy being romantic. So I'm gonna share some of my great romantic tips. So I would I would romantically propose, right? The romantic vibe, the ring, the modern. But I'm gonna tell my uncles, hey, hold off on the letter. Then I go from wow, we have a great 24 hours. Wow, great dinner, romance, beautiful sunset, kind of like dinner. Like it has to be wow, gorgeous Bali. And it's Tarazelo Sak. I'm gonna like do regardless. Really make it meaningful how we met and how I knew to wow, because I met you like this and add such wow. And I saw 1 and 2, 3, 4 very romantic things and then after that, a day after, I'm gonna say, Tandasami, can you sign this for me? It's an anti-nuptial so that it can, protect us both. Hey, I love you. Great, I love you. I want you to be my love partner, etc. But please sign an anti-nuptial, right? And then from there, the moment I got to resign, I'm like, malums, kolu. Malume anthumela incwadi phela ayithumela because the moment you send that letter, that's like process of being married. So iqalile. So what you uyayibhala but it's void because the date what. So I was like, man, qeda ukusana ngifile what a day after then malume thumela ke. And then I'm like, at least now we know you're good. I'm not gonna stop you from working. If you wanna work, hey honey, that's for you. But This thing of when I sign this and because you've seen most of the time, especially like in South Africa, most of the time it's women that file for divorce. Some have valid reasons, and some I don't know, too many people in their ears, and then they regret it after what. But either way, yeah, you have to be a gentleman. You have to protect yourself. Don't fall in love with you. Be just because you love. Don't be drunk in love. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. But anyway, but I've learned. But yeah, so that is one of the ways I would suggest how to get married. First, romantic one, go 24 hours, and then, hey, stand aside, I'll sign after signing. If you grade mnandi, malume, I am being what, but I am. Yeah, they will know, obvious. I would imagine ukuthi bazofuna ukuposta. So like, how? Okay, silinde incwadi-ke manje because yabona umengagile, but we're waiting for the incwadi, and then you're protected. I always say that African men always, especially us African men, or yeah, Tina, thina sithanda ukwenza izinto ngesintu I want to say, yeah, that aligns with the constitution, that is not oppressive to women or abusive to women and children, because some of the things in culture you can tell this is why that's just they're very like not all of them, but we enjoy that and we are very proud of our culture. So I would say, hey, you can work. I'm not gonna stop you from working, but 1, 2, 3. But yeah, conversation, because I think one of the best way to go in a relationship is communication. One of the key points is communication, because I can understand where you're coming from. 1, 2, 3, But obviously in dating you get to learn all about that. So definitely. So for me, it's something that is to be heard about. Not much. I went off. I went on a tangent a bit. Okay. I think yeah. So yeah, I was talking about spouses and children, and man, I'm lost. But yeah. So yeah. So I would do it like that just to protect everyone, and because it's unrealistic for you to do forever and ever. This is this is not fairy tale. It's realistic. And love comes and goes. If I like happiness, you can love someone, but love can be like boop, done. Same thing with happiness. Happiness is a choice, right? Isn't it love? Love is like a choice. You chose to love this person. You chose to make this person special. So, as in happiness is a choice, right? So 1 minute you are happy today. You can wake up happy today. Like, I'm having a good day. The next week was boring. You're not having a good day. Same thing as love. People don't want to be drowning in that oxytocin and that's love. The moment thing is, oh no, the spark is gone. Really, aren't you a bit old to talking about this spark? It was a partner who like a matrix work 1, 2, 3 and enjoy company and etc. Obvious, it won't always be that one is just effort, bonding. It's an effort. It's like if you're willing to put effort in work and do 1, 2, 3, why are you not willing to do that for a relationship or have a date night? Hey, we're going out what actively trying to look good for each other, because I've seen people you just let yourself go because you think marriage is a retirement. I'm settle life in. No, it's not. You have to work 2 times harder now because you're impressing the same person. It's like on a special day. Obvious creativity. That's where you have to step in. Because last time I spoiled like Angelina. How do I do something for our anniversary that is different and yet, effort? It's like I said, like marriage is when people I think they think it is just a holiday. It's not. And then you see the socials and then it's a dream. No, it's not. That's just clickbait, and they make money off that because there's always a cool soundtrack. Oh no, come on, that's not. I know it sounds great, but that's not really marriage. Marriage is two people coming together to achieve a certain goal, and it happens within your time down. I love this person. You see 1, 2, 3, and you want to do 1, 2, 3. That is just practicality. Obviously, one of my romantic moments, but those romantic moments they are done because both parties are fucking effort. But anyway, where was I? Order of succession. Okay. His parents would. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna read. Okay, unpack. I think Ndlulile lana. Inflect. Yeah, but yeah. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I wasn't lost because I hope I mentioned the order of succession. So, order of succession, there's an order. Order of succession clearly means that there's order on who gets what. There's a structure behind it. Spouse, children, they share. If children they will share, the spouse will get 50, and then children will share the rest. If I back, the parents will inherit. But at the end of the day, in all the structure, but one of the most important things is that you must have a will. That will never change. Let me give you examples. I hope I will go generic. Okay. Let's bring it to life with a real world scenario, right? Picture a young professional who lives in Johannesburg. Never married, no children, but close to his parents. If he passes away without a will, the law steps in. His parents will inherit his entire estate, but if he had a long-term partner and they lived together for years, in this case, even though they weren't married, she wouldn't automatically inherit under this act. This is a common pitfall. Many people think a partner will inherit automatically, but without a will, that's not guaranteed. So, if one lesson stands out, it's this: you need a will if you want your partner or others to be protected as you consider your own. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a will is essential. That's just fact. Singayile. It is. Let me just check one about this. Yeah, I want to check something. Just give me a second. Access. No. So yeah. So I just want to reference one case law. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Oh, this one is interesting. So we have Bear versus Magistrate dash Kylie Cha 2005. So this one is one of the most important succession cases in South Africa. So what happened? Before this case, customary law followed male primogeniture. I hope I said it right. Let me just repeat this. Primogeniture. Cha. Or whatever. The gen and then it's ITURE. So what this word means, only the eldest male child could inherit. Women and extra maternal children were excluded. So the leader, the old one, was the male heir, the firstborn, could inherit. The rest, the labalandela was born. So that one was messed up. We mentioned that. It was obvious. This one is the successor. The firstborn will get everything. He is the next in line. And sometimes the parents will prefer or like that firstborn and then the other one, especially the middle one, are usually forgotten about. That's born with Tumuga Mama. So yeah. There's no expectation for last born. Your last born is like, there's some spoiler. There's no need. You don't have to try and just be you. Enjoy life. You're the last born. So yeah, so the court's decision, the Constitutional Court declared the system unconstitutional and ruled that the Interstate Succession Act applies to everyone, including estates previously governed by customary law. Key takeaway from listeners. Okay. Let me repeat that because I didn't get it. The Constitutional Court declared this unconstitutional and ruled that the Interstate Succession Act applies to every, including estate previously governed by customary law. So I didn't go against it. Any act that does not align with the Constitution becomes unconstitutional, and I think you can take them to the Constitutional Court. So regardless, especially human rights, certain things, yeah. So anything act, regardless if it becomes unconstitutional, if certain things are unconstitutional, you can take them to court. I was reading something about tax and something with that one. Tax is tax, but yeah. Probably I'll get into it in some of the episodes. But yeah. So the key takeaway from this, listeners, is This case changed inheritance law forever in 2005. So by allowing women to inherit, protecting children born outside marriage, making interstate succession equal and fair. Because technically, was it fair? I don't think it was. No, you have children, but the law is like, because of the primogeniture. So now it changed really, and women can inherit. Outside of marriage can also inherit. So here's the thing. Can you imagine being excluded from inheriting just because of gender? This case ended that. So if you're a woman, and also I was wondering pre to this case, pre 2005 and all of this. So what if you only have daughters? So what happens then? And then here's another scenario. So what happens if you have an illegitimate son and then the daughters are in the marriage, So because of this, you're saying, what is family conflict? It's bad, women are fighting. Hey, you came into my household, you took my husband. Hey, I gave your husband something you couldn't. I gave him a son. And then it's like, it's a fight and whole thing. It's like a story, actually, that thing is like, because I have daughters, and happy, ideal couple, beautiful daughters, lovely marriage. And then, because guys are guys and they're not no. And then now you have an illegitimate son. Obvious. That other woman is like, we're going to be proud that, I have a son. That means, the son will inherit everything. And then second number one. Obvious, the married one, how dare you come into my house, my family, and destroy it. And then she's labeled home wrecker, whole thing. But yeah. Well, I guess this one changes and does fix that. So another one. Case law is like Daniels versus Campbell, 2004. So why this matters? Classified who qualifies as a spouse in succession of law. So what happened that a woman married under Muslim rites, I don't know, Muslim rites, it's RITES, was excluded from inheriting because her marriage wasn't recognized under civil law at the time. So, we have our law. So the court's decision ruled that the word spouse in the interstate succession includes spouses married under religious law. So I would like to talk about this, but Muslim rights. What is Muslim rights? I'm not sure about that. But yeah. So the key takeaway, Lana, is religious marriages are also protected. So constitution, the right we have, obviously we have the right to religious practice regardless, as long it is not harming anyone. So yeah, you can start your own religion. You can literally make your own religion up. This is going to be our religion. Yes. According to Constitution, Constitution protects our right to religious practices. So another takeaway is surviving spouses cannot be excluded unfairly. So yeah, one. So regardless, but the moment you say, hey, spouse, they're all protected, even though certain exclusions go religious act, but they're also protected. So this case reminds us that the law evolves with society. I hope it evolved quickly. But these things, and one thing you do learn, you will see, if such matters are not brought forward a court, which is expensive and timely, so think about Mali. And hopefully, because you could go and then but with cost, and with cost could fall to you. Because you wasted the court time and the resources in the case, so you have to pay, which is a lot. So you do understand why some are just ignored until the right people, the right lawyers, like, hey, for example, of this customary part of the law, the moment is like, the moment to lawyer, you're married. So everything prior to after that is void. So imagine someone, I'm gonna take this to the Supreme Court of Appeal or Supreme Court of Justice or Constitutional Court. So yeah, bon. So that is like, oh man, 1, 2, 3. But it is, I think it's because most of these things are not put forward because it is hella expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it is, and you cannot just be example. It's man, that's the entire issue, and then I'm gonna, and then what if? But no, because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, nope, we're done. And then but with cost, the cost was full to me. Jesus Christ, and that's expensive. because remember we have a less judges. We don't have a lot of judges. As the population grow, the number of judges over the years they continue to still the same. I did speak about this briefly on a previous episode, but yeah, check that one out. So yeah. Oh, here's another one, huh? Hey, we're cooking today, my daughter. Okay, go. I still have time. That's Corey versus Culver, 2007 one. So, all right, okay. Important for same sex, so partners and long term relationships. So same sex. I would say it's gay people, lesbian, is it LGBTQ, etc. But yeah. So what happened is a same-sex couple lived together permanently, but were not legally married. One partner died interstate. So the court's decision, the surviving partner was allowed to inherit under the Interstate Succession Act. So, so the key takeaway, the law recognizes permanent life partners. So if Dalushala, Shafat and said, no, so decide to because women it's very slick, they're very smart. 1 minute they have vagasha, enjoy good boyfriend yami, very nice, good. They're very good at that. Good so permanent. Oh, because I thought we're not gonna do the fat and said, but then could do 6 years, 8 years, and then some they just let it be. Some are like, hey, you marry me, but at that time I think you have kids too, maybe. The whole thing, but anyway, I'm veering off a bit. So, the key takeaway is law recognizes permanent life partnerships. So, interstate succession is not limited to traditional marriages. So, there's a lot to unpack, ladies and gentlemen. It is a lot, but law is interesting. I'm not gonna lie. So, this is a great discussion point. So, what defines a family today? What does define a family? So we kind of have a great point. Okay, what defines is a nuclear family? Is it a platonic family? There's a lot. Is the traditional family, and regardless of how things are done, like about us, like I said, women don't really fuck with fattens, especially if your garden is greener and they enjoy it. Like, oh man, this garden is green. Because about Kalaganja, they're like Varasha, and then now they're like, I'm sure no moon because that garden is so comfortable and green. I could do. Umundafi super actually. Or you can just do it this on a Friday month end or Thursday. Hey, 5 with good night. I'm going to sleep. Because it's a phone episode. You know how women are possessive and protective ganja, and if they're like, they're down with you. Do this, so shall I pray and go to 5? Hey, I'm going to sleep. Good night. 5. Oh, she's gonna go din 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 din. Then okay, and good. And then the person brings herself over. My past 9, I must warm. Like, kind of loving it. Did they really think about this? And that's got to relax. And I'm so really offline. And or you just wanted that weekend for yourself. It's so food. Oh man. Yeah, okay. Boom. No surprise, you wearing your pajama, going for a event. Like, what the? What's that land, man? No, surprise, I think surprise. I feel saying earlier, I'm 5 or 7 or 8. But again, I'm getting surprised. But the eyes are like, I want to see if there was a woman's touch. So, what do I do? But anyway, like I said, issues isn't very interesting. But yeah. So the whole thing of family today, it is interesting, and an open conversation should be had so that we do, especially in our communities, especially in those are from like, how do you define a feminist? Because when you find our communities, most of them are women led, and certain things. I'm not saying women are great at raising children, but to a certain point, especially when it comes to male, because women can take, in my opinion, a child I'm coolly said to, but the moment there's a transition whereby that boy needs to become a man, and that one it thing is like skaba, because what is a man, and I have to do what, but with women they don't necessarily see that transition and see, that's my baby, and and then you have young men who don't understand the consequences of accountability and discipline, which creates a society, but yeah, undisciplined man. You know what they say about undisciplined man? They end up being lazy or end up in prison or doing isn't this illegal. So okay, here's another one. And 95, ex parte Maurice. Oh man, izongibulala editing la. Loading. So I shouldn't remember about $6, but just go through that. Ex parte Maurice, why it matters. Okay. Deals directly with validity of will. So Lana it's about is the will valid? So what happened? So check it out. So again, I think you can check it out with South African. What? It's SAFI something. Man, I forgot. So that's embarrassing. So what happened? A will did not strictly comply with formal requirements like signature, a requirement of a will. It didn't comply with that. So the court's decision allowed the will to be accepted because the deceased's true intentions were clear. So you can see, I would imagine some details of the will. Oh, we see, but my requirements were not formally complied. So court saw my two insertions were very clear. Justice and in which were like, oh, we see, and it aligns with the person, what doesn't take crazy. But yeah, so a key takeaway is courts may condone informal wills. Intention matters, but compliance is still safer. So my intention is because it's all about making sure there's peace amongst family. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, courts are not just cold-hearted. There's a human element to it as well. So as much as we think decisions are just on document, on paper, on what, yeah, that plays a huge part. There's a human element to, for an example, there's a huge element to it, for an example. So if a first-time offender did 1, 2, 3, or steal or shoplifting, they always look at the individual. So, okay, we see what your background, what are you to the community? Are you someone contribute and you click what, and they understood with a few weeks ago, oh, maybe you lost 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe something happened, maybe your mother you've never in your suffering. They will see that, oh, this person is which makes, when you think about it, this is why you always see abantu who are there, magistrate or magistrate court suit is like representation. Am I a menace to society? Can't like who's figure la payana Shamati on the leaves looking all whatever, like you are a menace to society. But when I born running, so and then they end up making examples. So this person is proper. This person humbles himself before the court accepts I did 1, 2, 3, I'm a first offense. They see, okay. Because you cannot harshly punish people who made a mistake. Harshly punish them because of certain circumstances. If you were to read criminology, you understand these are certain things about, behavior, what trigger. Because they also, you have to look up environment, where they're from, community, and what influence, and they were able to. There's a lot of layers that, like being judges, that's why they need 10 years of experience, because you need to, follow the right procedures, but an element of human for the corner. So that plays a huge role. Now, going back here, intentions matters, but compliance is still safer. So the lesson for you listeners is a badly drafted will can still cause stress, delays, and court battles. These court battles are expensive. I do the right thing. So when courts, I'm not gonna lie, courts feel like when we last resort because courts are expensive, lawyers are expensive. So to always try to do the right thing before we figure it out. That is my emphasis. So let me just read the last one. Okay, this one deals with the High Court, and it's 10 years ago, very recent. Master of the High Court versus Van Zyl, 2016. Why it matters. So, classifies the master's role in the estates. So most of my small firms, my sole proprietor, you held them, but I refer to my masters. I have to go to the masters 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So key point: the master must ensure estates are administered fairly, lawfully, and transparently, especially in estate matters. I think it touches on section 33 of the Constitutional Court, which is administrative action. That one is super, 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 super important. It is literally the guideline of everything. you should go deeper into the subsection 1 called, you understand why administrative action is the most important. Because everything that you do is called administrative action. So section 33, look it up, or constitution. So well, I really don't like a caffeine that much because I heard about it lazy also. That's the thing I need in coke. I don't want heart problems, but yeah. So why the master's office plays such a big role when there's no will? So so it is. So among procedures of administrative action and so forth and so forth. So definitely that plays a huge role to the whole thingy. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode has been enjoyable for me. And I truly did enjoy it. I enjoyed speaking. So look, I always say guess. I'm not gonna do that anymore because guests always complain or there's something else. But I'm just gonna surprise you. If those people show up, they show up. If that episode on that day happens to say, hey, we have a guest, wonderful. But I'm just going to, and hopefully you keep on listening and be patient with me. Zonke listen to that. Yeah, so what else before I wrap up? Okay. All right, guys, I think it's time for me. Yeah, it's time for me to wrap up. Okay. I'm closing remarks of the episode of Ubuntu and Law. So, as we close, shit. Okay. Sorry. Okay. As we close today's episode, one thing becomes very clear: succession in law is not just about legal rules; it's about people, families, dignity. The Interstate Succession Act exists to provide order. There is uncertainty. And okay, yes. Right. Yeah. South African case law shows us how the courts have stepped in to promote fairness, equality, and protection, especially for those who were once excluded. You should read it. You should, like I said, I feel like every family in a household, when we in a constitution, you have your Bibles, you have what other religion, and you read them. You have to read it. Those understand about basic human rights, economic rights, and what. Because that's everything that we do in South Africa. It has to align with the constitution. It was written. Yeah, and I doubt it was meant anything. But anyway, that's a huge debate and talk of what. But yeah, let's just focus on this thing. So, cases like Upe, Daniels, and Gori remind us that the law is alive. It evolves with society and responds to real human experiences. But they also teach us a powerful lesson. The law can only do so much when there is no will. Without a clear instruction, loved ones may face delay, disputes, and outcomes that don't reflect deceased true wishes. Imagine that. So when you say love, whoever you are, because you were like, I don't want to have a will, and then you just die. Life happens. And then now your children are fighting because when you refuse to have a will, hey dude, we all here are going to die. I'm saying we all have time. We have one go around in this world. So as an easy, you have to be prepared. You have to be an adult about it and make the right decision. Because now your children are gonna hate. Imagine you raise your children, it's been great. Now because when you choose not to do the right thing and have a will, now they hate each other. And then you're where we are like, oh my God, they hate each other for my stuff because you are in denial. Just do the right thing, have a will. And sometimes it doesn't, without a will, your true intentions don't necessarily get reflected. So the takeaway from today is simple but important. If you care about who you leave behind, take control of your legacy. A valid will is not just a legal document, it's a final act of care and responsibility. So truly, it is. You show them you care, you are transparent about what you want to do for them, and so forth. So, gentlemen. So please, wherever you are, even if you're not in South Africa, in the world, come on, people, just do a will. Because you might be the epicenter of your family, you might be, the breadwinner, whatever. You might be, but a will will clearly state your intentions. You know your children, you know your spouses, you know your family. Don't play naive and people, I'm gonna avoid. You've lived with people, you know these people. So do the right thing in the will, be transparent, seek legal advice. If not, if our guys are afford it, call legal aid or whatever. I think call draft a will. Can I draft a will? Yeah, I can definitely draft a will. Not a biggie. Yeah. So, thank you for joining us for episode 12. If this conversation made you think differently about succession, estate planning, then we have done our job. Or rather, I have done my job, which is, Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and take care of those who you love legally, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, happiness. Everything that is good. Appreciate the one you love, the ones you love. Be realistic about it. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Ubuntu and Law. Love you guys. Hey, before I leave, let me just, because I forgot about this joke. So, today's lesson is simple. If you don't write a will, the law will write one for you. And trust me, the law does not know your family trauma. So, you have to, based on the data that is given. So, okay, remember, dying without a will is basically letting the government say, don't worry, we'll sort out your family. And honestly, when has that ever gone smoothly? They don't know you. There's emotional attachment. You know the whole thing. So, last part is, so please write a will, because living your family with love is nice, but living them with paperwork is not. What else? Well, I think I'm done. Let me just bounce. I have work to do, and I will see you on episode 13 on Ubuntu and Law.